God bless you in the name Jesus Christ. Okay. Um, Thank you for joining me. JesusChristTrust.net. This is John McCaig, Jack McCaig, here on this end. Okay, and I'd like to go over a whole bunch of stuff today. I think pretty valuable information, and hopefully take us in a new direction here. Um, that is more inclusive. That's the goal. Okay, let's go into a couple things. Happy Sunday to you. I'm going to go over a few. Every time I go live, every time, uh, as a prophet, what does a prophet do? All right, hey, Jamie. Prophet is supposed to, hey, let me deliver new information, right? Information nobody heard before. That's what a prophet does. That's, the definition. Hey, that's new information. Did not know that. So, you can see that, that occurs every time I go live. And I'm going to do that again today. So let me get a couple little of those, prophecies, hidden information out. And then we'll get into, all right, J Baba. Then we'll get into, kind of the bigger topic here, the Sermon on the Mount. Yeah, I'm going to unpack that thing and show you it's really kind of all the information in there that no one knows about. Okay. All right. So let's start. I'm going to go through like shorter topics. Pamela. All right. Good to have you here. Uh, Thank you everyone for the support, your donations, everything like that. We wouldn't exist without it. This was on me, but without the support of everyone, this wouldn't be happening. And I'm going to get to the more inclusive discussion here uh, after a bit. Okay, after we go through some things here. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is Alan. All right, Alan in the house, Alan in the dome. I miss my traveling buddy. Good to have you here, Alan. I'm so happy about your good news. I was happy when I heard it before it happened, and I'm just as happy after it's happened. Yay! Uh, so it's great. Uh, so let's talk about one little. We'll go through the topics. God bless you, brother. Okay. Uh, let's talk about the generations, right? Because there are very many generations. There are very few generations here, right? And so who starts us off, right? The main group that starts us off is the boomers, right? Right? 1969 is the boomers. So of course, that's how we're told uh, that reality started with a big bang. Boom, right? Boom, boomers. See? So that's how where reality starts at the beginning of the time loop. It's the boomers. Hey, Big Bang. That's when time starts. So that's what their name is, the boomers. Then we have Generation X. It's like, oh my God, we know nothing. You know what I mean? Like, where who, what, they show up. They have, this after the boom, it's like, X. X marks the spot. Okay, well, where are we? What's going on? And then we have the millennials. That's like, okay, now we're around 2000. Okay, that's a time in between you millennials. And then we have Generation Z, right? So we got W, that's the boomers, two V's, WE33, right? That's us. That's the W's, right? The W's, the boomers. Then you get the X. Then you got the millennials. Why? Why? let's start, let's let's go from X to Y chromosome. Why? Right? Well then, uh, so they're the Y's, and then we get the Z, Generation Z. What's the right? Alpha, the Omega, A Omega Z, right? The devil. See, the devil generation, right? The end of time, the end of the alphabet, when it starts again. Whoop, and back we go again, right? Generation Z. Hey, we're gonna end it up now. Okay, it's all in the names. You can see like the script characters and the generations all have that name in it. It's the end of the alphabet. And okay, this is super throwback. Maybe Dee Dee will get it, but listen, remember when I many years ago I brought up that clock from the World's Fair that was sold at Sotheby's, and it had a loop. Remember, it had a loop of like 4 years or something like that. It was like, this is the favorite. It was unbelievable clock. Yeah, yeah. And it had all these, it's just, never seen anything like it. But if you turn the clock around, right, and you see the years portion of the whole thing, all the machinations of heaven and earth and the sun and the moon and everything was going on. It was unbelievable. Most beautiful piece of God made anything. It was this clock. Uh, let me, I don't want to forget that. Uh, and so, but it was in a loop. It was it was in these few years. Then you reset the clock, start again. That was like the most unbelievable clock I ever seen. It was a time loop clock. And let's look at the word time. Here's another little thing. Okay, time, right? Uh, me, right? Uh, time. Me has a their name in it. So who's playing the game? Dude on the cross, T, and then there's guy in the sky, I, and then there's devil, Emmy, time. You see, that's a game in one word. So Maya, yes. That weird clock, yeah. Okay, so that was W X Y and Z, the generations. You see, it's in that clock. It's in the word itself, time. All right. I've been trying to get some discourses up on always surprising it from. Yeah, I'm gonna get into some more. I'm getting you warmed up here, okay? Yeah. No one's ever spoken a word about what I speak about every single time I speak, showing who I am, and that it's right. You see, or else, yeah. But what about this week? That's your promise. It's like, yeah, but what do you do that? Oh, wait, what? Kind of like grandfather clocks from the inside. Yeah. Just yeah. Uh, yeah. I'm a adopted grandfather. What's up? uh, okay, so I'm trying to get some discourses up on. I've been trying for a long time now, and I guess one of them's free home and one of them's get out of death, and so it's just been people started dying. Actually, we had a death in the family of someone who works for me, and so on. It's really actually getting extremely serious. So, and like it has been, it has been. Lots of people die, right, Didi? Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's more of that is going on. I get these discourses up. Yeah, people that really is unimaginable. Really, what I go through. Alan gets some of it. Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I'm working on all of it, but it's really hard to do. I only have so much expertise in some of the work that I do, and I pay other people or they help. It's hard because they always make it harder for me and us. So, uh, yes, Mir Mama says we reach the highest awakening in our souls when we this hard things away. When we you have to say something else. When we the body. Uh, uh, drop. When we drop the body. Yeah. Yeah, we reach the highest wave because then we returned to reality. And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up. It's going to come up with a Sermon on the Mount, and I'm gonna bring up an explanation of that. Okay, uh, why that's happening, why that happens, and what's going on. Okay, and that's why I think it's important. This is going to be a minute. We're going to go through some things today, but I think at the end of it, you'll get uh, a lot. I'm going to try and yank a veil today. Let's just say that I think everyone's going to gain more clarity today. Okay. Uh, Another out off-topic thing, but I'm going to move. I do two shows a week, Monday and Thursday on Liberty Aid Academy. I'm going to switch to Monday to a paid subscription, and I'm only going to do stuff on it Like, we're signing up for a Capital One credit card today. Yeah. We're starting an LLC today. But I'm going to just do stuff and turn it into a hidden course, basically, of expertise of experts, financially driven, basically. Okay. So just, because you people care what how do you hone this razor? It's like, that's going to be hone the razor day, Mondays. I'm switching over to that because I learned these last couple of months. I'm having the worst month ever here at the getting anyone. I really am. Because a couple months I found a hack back way into Facebook, was able to do some paid advertising for like 2 months. We actually got out there and got a few students in Liberty Academy. It hasn't happened in a couple of years, and that went away. But now we're like, but put me on the radar for a second, and it was like too much for them. So they just, come at me harder, way harder. But that's good news. We're gonna go through the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, so but just on Mondays, that's going to switch over to an expert show, like a membership show, and we're going to really do stuff, and it's going to give you access to those past shows. It's going to be the only way. Okay. Now, let me one more. Let's see. Okay. I've been thinking about law school, and I want to address some of that in what we're going to read on today, and so I'll do it then. I'll double check back in here today as we go through the Beatitudes, because I think it's important. Okay. And now, one more topic before I read the Sermon on the Mount. Okay. I did we're in what's up? A few people are in there from the travel experiences to India. We're still communicating, and I want to bring it to what I brought up in there and here to this church group of people who are the forerunners of the spiritual technology that exists here. You are, I am, and you are. That's it. There isn't anyone else. There's not going to be anyone else, and that's just the way it is. Okay. So, real talk. You know, just this is a situation we find ourselves in, that we have the God we trust and res everything, right? So doesn't there need to be an alternative to that? I mean, just doesn't there? I mean, and would it they want there not to be an alternative to the God we trust? And so would it providing, a safe haven for souls and people and a way to live and so on, wouldn't that actually, you know, win the game in the now? Like, hey, I won the game, and guess what? You could, be all right for a minute, like, yay. Uh, because if it's all the other world, then what's the purpose of doing anything in this life? You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, in the next lifetime, blah, it's going to be all good. Is what? So you're just supposed to sit here, watch TV or something? Like, that's what they do, no. Uh, and I'm going to readdress this issue when we get out the other side, but of talking about the Sermon on the Mount. But listen, there needs to be a way that this Jesus Christ trust can be used as an alternative to the we trust. So I think there has to be a way to sign up to make each individual be able to be a player in this situation, and how to do that, and how to unfold that process. Because what's the only way that Jesus Christ trust can be an alternative to the God we trust? There's only one way. There is no other way. I don't care. There's no other way, right? See, they have the devil back in their trust, God of this world. That's pretty heavy to say, oh, I want to provide an alternative to you. It's like, what did you say? Uh, so there's only one way to do that, and that's have more advanced spiritual technology than they have. In other words, if you want to create something new and there's something else that wants you to not exist as you're trying to grow, hey, I'm going to grow, and a bird comes along that eats that kind of plant and eats you. It's like, well, you were just a tasty snack. Oh, uh, but if there's some method where that plant can grow, uh, and continue to thrive and so on, then that could be your issue of gathering sun for the rest of the plants you see around you. Uh, and if that's a banyan tree, long time, bad news for the other plants because you're going to get shade. that's what. So that's what I want to do is throw them shade. You get it? Anyway, so and how can that be done? Really, only one way, right? Spiritual technology made it so you can't touch us, made it so you can't touch the real estate, made it so everyone's fine over here. So later, uh, an actual alternative where you just sleep at night, no problems, like that. The children are asleep at night, no problems. The women sleep at night, no problems. Look, we woke up and what are we having for breakfast? Okay, like that kind of life. Uh, and I think it was really wonderful that Mike took the time to post his information this week of what I've been watching him do because I'm in Florida, so is Mike. Driving around these vehicles with no laces, with no tags, uh, and just a trust on the seat of his car next to him, waiting to be pulled over. There are so many cops in Florida; it's crazy. They're everywhere. They're everywhere around here, and they're everywhere around me. Everywhere. I just always see them. Always. It's like whenever my wife gets in the car, it's like, and for her too now, it's like driving in a parade. That's what she says. With all the cops and all the county fire trucks, and it's like all of them, all the time, everywhere. It's like just not watching you, and it just happened to be, everywhere all the time. So yeah, it's like being in the parade everywhere. So, but how to not be bothered by that and so on. That's the way you could actually present an alternative. And I appreciate that Mike's been sharing that and so on. Because that's how the end of the world occurs, obviously. And you know, it's either the end of the world or the end of, hey, could you think you could remove your chokehold from around my neck? I'm having trouble breathing, eating, paying for things, whatever. They tighten the chokehold over time to cause uh, the end of time. Okay, so how to sign up people to the God We Trust, operating their own individual trust? Because listen, you wouldn't have a trust if I didn't open up First Trust and beat the devil first. Fact. There is a spiritual hierarchy. Fact. And I brought the trust through and give it to others who then said, oh, okay, whoa, this, cool if I had done it first, but it's done. So let me use, what works. Uh, so that's the spiritual hierarchy. Real. It's real. And God decided it before the game ever started. And so that exists. And so that's, the paperwork already matches the spiritual hierarchy. So it's more like, how do you want to affiliate uh, in a more structured manner to work together using our individual strengths to maybe handle an area of, the bailiwick of the situation, you know, to solve an issue and to be working on your little area of technology that you find drew you to this work and God and what you would want to work on to satisfy that complaint that still exists within you. Uh, what technology, what outcome, what needs to be proven and given to our brothers and sisters to solve the situation, to end this game, and to get the proof and be done with them, and to be done with it, and to be done with the situation to cause it. You see, because causing a safe haven to exist will cause the end of time, because will cause the infinite to step into the finite. God will step in, and that's the end of that. You see, that's what causes it. That's it. It's simple. It's simple. So uh, now we're going to read about that, and they call it the Sermon on the Mount. That's what this section of the skit, the scripture is called. So let's decode some of the basics of it. If thank you, Dee Dee. Uh, yeah, you understand. I know you do. So let's go. I'm gonna read this Sermon on the Mount, and I'm gonna go through some pieces of the meeting to show you how it all fits in with what I'm always saying, you know. And it's just written in this Sermon on the Mount in the Bible. This guy, Jesus Christ comes out, has this long script. Hey, everybody, I'm going to tell you what's up. Little prelude, okay, to this. It'll become clearer as we're reading this. But just so you have this mindset while you're reading it and have a full understanding of what we're reading about, Jesus Christ comes down. He's like, hey, I need a minute, everybody. First of all, do the humans gather knowingly, right? As a group to move forward spiritually? I hope I've shown in India that is impossible. Basically, maybe a handful will gather or something like that, but it's not like they're going to gather around someone with Christ consciousness, right? But I'll tell you who does gather around him is the other team, don't they? They're always around me everywhere. They never fit. It's like I'm saying, I'm in a parade or something. They never stop. They're always everywhere. And so that's who's gathered around Christ. You see what I'm saying? That's the gathering around him. Are those gathered? It's like watching the devil said, keep an eye on that guy. What is he doing? What is he doing? Like always have flocks of crows around me. So it's like we're watching it. What is he up to? It's so funny. Anyway, so he's speaking to them. They're like a swarm of bees. That's right, Alan. So he's speaking to the swarm of bees. That's who he's speaking to, basically. That's who he's speaking to. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to go through the Sermon on the Mount, and we're going to show that, okay? We're going to decode this thing. So, this is the big guy. It's Jesus Christ in this script, and he's laying down the law. Hey, I know how you used to do it in the Old Testament. Let me go through that. Well, this is the way I do it. That's what he's doing. Now I'm here, right? So this is the way it goes. Okay, that's what we're going to read about. Hey, I went and talked with God. He said, that crew down there, they used to roll this way for this reason. And I know what it is now. And so this is the way you're going to do it. Okay, so nothing is hidden from Jesus at that moment. You see, this is the way they are and why God says them, like the way God said to me. This is who we are, and this is why they do it. They're at a Disney World. It's like, I want to choke them out, every single one of them. It's like, yeah, totally. But that's like you went into the big thrill house, you find, the fight house, whatever, at Disney World, and it was scary. Yeah, you wanted to choke them out, totally, right? So they did their job, right? Yeah, I guess. I guess they did. You see, that's what we're going to read about. Okay. All right. Let's get started with that. Okay. Thanks for that prelude. I know it took a while. I had some other topics to cover. Thank you for that. And now we're going to get into it. Okay. I'm going to read through this. I'll go through this. Anything comes up. Y'all are incredibly smart individuals. Your feedback is always welcome. All right. This is Matthew 5, and they title it The Sermon on the Mount. I'm going to go through the King James Version. Okay. Seeing the crowds, right? That's the swarm of bees. Seeing the swarm of bees, he went up on the mountain, right? Hey, went up on the mountain like, hey, I'm going to, Black Rock. Hey, I know I'm talking to one of you top hive members. You all are going to hear it, right? Sermon on the Mount. He's talking to them. Hey, devil, and all of you critters. Hey, bugs, you swarm of bees. And when he sat down, his disciples came to listen what he was going to say to the bees. You see? And then we have the bee attitudes. Hey, bee, what should your attitude be? Did you see what I'm saying? Listen, swarm. It's so funny that you said that, Alan. It's so exactly on point. And the point I'm trying to get to here is exactly what you brought up is so perfect. Okay. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Hey, uh, you know, poor in spirit. Let's go through a few of these. Okay. That's them. Obviously, they have a poor spirit, but they're doing as they're told under orders. You see them say, "Hey, Disney World characters, I know you got not getting paid much, and I know those uniforms are hot down here in Florida, but we do pay, and we do our job. And you want your paycheck on Friday, you better keep it up wearing that Mickey costume. Get it? Okay. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Hey." Good morning, 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 hey, good morning. You get a break coming up here. You'll be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Hey, guess what? You bunch of cowards, you have to reincarnate and come back here and do it again. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Because you got to work on it, right? If you're hungry, you better go get some food. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. When you realize they're just Disney characters, you're like, oh, maybe I will put you in the guillotine. Okay, off you go. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. That's right, because I've seen God, and that's what I call them, the pure hearts. Whoever sees God. You don't have any wickedness in there. There's nothing left to come out. You're the final, tribe. And for those of us who have seen God, and there are people in here who have, uh, you know, they're pure in heart. They just want the truth. And that what does that turn you into? Blessed are the peacemakers, so they shall be called sons of God. It's also in other uh, uh, instead of King James versions, it's also called, they shall be called the children of God. You see? So uh, maybe that's what that A is saying right there. It's also said children of God. In other words, after you meet with God, right? You see how it's going. Those pure in heart shall see God. And what happens after that? You're a peacemaker, right? You can't be killed or anything. You realize you have the ultimate power. You can make peace in any situation. Oh, somebody wants to shoot over there. Well, if you walk in between them, they can't shoot you. So they can't shoot on the other side of you. Come on. You turned into a peacemaker. You see what I'm saying? You guess what? Get your boot off their neck. Take it off. You're doing that right in front of me. You see? Or I'll show you can't kill me and I'll mess with your power. Do it. Pull your boot off their neck right now. Don't do that in front of me. I told you not to do it, but don't do it in front of me. You see? Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Because after you become a peacemaker, the hive goes, they're evil. They're, you see what I'm saying? You're out. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Hey, I'm sorry. It's a great blessing and a great honor. Now, get the hell out of the Baba Center. Get out of here. Don't ever come back. Don't ever have another lifetime. Get out of here. Am I right? Wow, never would have grasped this in my whole. Oh, no. I'm just can't through. I can't even see that. It's just weird. Uh, and let's keep going. It gets more interesting, okay? It really does. This is Jesus saying to the hive, hey, we're gonna have our little war here, and you know, this is your needs to be your attitude. Be attitude. Hold it together over there. Salt and light. You are the salt of the earth. Oh, this is funny. I'm going to decode this the way nobody ever has. You were the salt. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was sorry. God's funny. Sometimes there's such good, God level jokes in this. I'm sorry. Oh man. Sometimes when I'm given prophecy and the truth, I have to sit so close to God to hear it, that I get hit with a bliss sometimes. So uh, you know, not overwhelmingly, but God is all bliss. So to hear God's word and to feel it and to hear from the messenger, you just get hit with that, somewhat. So uh yeah. Okay. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? In other translations, it says, if it's lost its savor, right? If it's lost its savor, right? What value does it have? The salt, you see? Okay. And that's here it said, if his saltiness be restored, right? It is no longer good for anything except for be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. Hey, you're the salt of the earth, You're the thing that gives this place savor, flavor, savor. Hey, you listen, Disney World players, you are the ones that give this place its freshness, its savor, right? What is lacking, right, in this situation? Uh, keep the savor going, keep the flavor going, right? But what do we actually need, you and I, the humans? What do we actually need? We don't need more savor, right? We don't really need more salt, in our eyeballs. We don't need more salt. We don't need you salt. Like water is good when it doesn't have salt in it. You see what I'm saying? Water has value without salt in it. It's like, uh, what we don't need is because we don't need savor. It's fine. Hey, great, that tastes better, but really that's not really what we need. What do we need? We need the step above savor, don't we need the all-seeing eye, God, to enter the situation, right? And that would be save your. Add the I to savor and it becomes save your. You see? Savior or Savior. It's lost its salty, it's lost its savor, it's lost its taste. You see that life has no reason. The reason for life has gone out of it after you met with God. You see what I'm saying? We just had met with God in the previous passage. Oh my God, I met with God, right? Now I work for you, God. Oh, but Once you not met with God, it's like you're back in earth in a body. And it's like, wait a second, this place has no value. It's lost all the saltiness, all lost all its good taste. You see? You have God inside you. You see where you become one with God. When you meet with God, you show up in this world. The truth sets everyone free, and you become the truth. And let's get into the next passage. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, i.e., the dome, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house, right? Put a dome on a light bulb, and then it gives a better light. You see what I'm saying? To all in that dome area. Okay, in the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. After you meet with God, get back down in the body. I'm going to throw you back in there, and that world's going to suck. And you're going to hate it. It's lost all of its flavor, and you're going to work for those people down there, right? And you're going to be unkillable, and you're going to know everything that's up. Everyone's going to hate your guts, but you're going to do it for God. That's where I am, right? Okay, next section. Christ came to fulfill the law. 17, right, Mark 5:17. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or prophets. Right? I'm not here to get rid of the Old Testament. I'm here to make a new one, New Testament, right? But I'm not here to end the Old Testament. Sure, that's still an option. Hey, the God we trust, I'm not here to close it down. Keep it open. I'm here to open a new pathway and an option. You can have the In God we trust open for the rest of them, but I'm making it a new option. That's what he's saying. You see, I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I'm here to create the end of time. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, in other words, judgment day happens, right? Until judgment day, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Obviously, saying on judgment day, that law stops. Therefore, whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Well, wait, what? If you screw up following the Old Testaments, right? You hive of bees, right? You're, of course, you all are going to heaven, right? Because you work for Disney. Don't worry, you're going to heaven, right? But you're just going to be the lowboards in heaven. You're not going to run everything and own everything like here, but I will bring you into the kingdom of heaven as what? Like servants. You're not going to run crap and stuff like that. Up here, roles are going to switch, right? Roles in heaven, those ones you persecuted, everything, they're going to be the ones who own everything in this kingdom, and you're going to work for them, right? When you get up here. Okay, let's keep going. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, listen, if you're a Disney character and all you did was play your role and you never came out of a character, in other words, you're evil as crap to the people at Disney World, I'm going to treat you what? That you followed orders, good job. You're staying in heaven. Remember, heaven and hell are not our goals. No, we're here to go to God. We're not here to go to heaven or hell because it's like, oh, you go to heaven, go to hell, but you still come back to earth and heaven or hell, back to earth. That's like when I got that sword from Gabriel. Like, no, don't give me a better weapon in the game. Okay, get me out of this game. Where's the guy? Where's the guy? Get me out of here. You see? No. So, okay. Oops. For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. In other words, if you're just playing your fucking part out there as a Disney character and you don't put this, the flavor into it, the savor into it, the salt into it, if you don't make this the best act I ever seen in my life, I'm going to treat you like crap when you get to heaven. So be a great Disney character. Get on it. Disney characters are like, oh, great. And 21. You have heard that it was said to those of old, "You shall not murder, and whoever murders," no, no, no. It said, "You shalt not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment." But I say to you, it didn't really say that, right? That's the way people twist it. But what he's saying is, yeah, you to follow the Old Testament, sure, follow the rules, go to heaven. Even if you're a Disney character, if you're evil, a murderer, you did it according to the rules, still go to heaven because you're a Disney character. Okay. But he says, here comes Jesus. But I say that to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be liable to counsel, and whoever says you fool will be liable to the hell of fire. Bad news. So, and this section hit me hard here. So let's finish it up. So if you are offering your gift at the altar and there, remember your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. For first be reconciled to your brother and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are going to with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge and the judge to the guard and be put in prison. Truly I say to you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. Tough section here. First of all, uh, you know, uh, it doesn't use that word yet, but basically, do you understand the game well enough, right? So that you're Disney. First of all, you're a Disney character, okay? You're getting paid and earning feathers and wings, and you're going to win the game. And you're working for God, and you're getting heaven. Remember, you're getting heaven. They're going to, yeah, the little kids are going to, get gum all over you. They're going to throw up on you or whatever while you're a Disney character at Disney World for sure, right? It's going to suck being a Disney character, right? Don't get pissed at them. They're not going to know. Don't tell them anything. Okay. Uh, so, don't overdo it. And same with on the flip side, if you humans are reading this, right? Realize who you're up against and that they're evil according to God's purpose. Do you see? And forgive them. And so, should I go to law school and like bring up lawsuits against these evil creatures that have done pure evil to me time and time and time again and never end? I've wrestled with this. So I think the answer is no. But if I were to go to law school, and maybe I'm still working my ass off trying to see if I can get the time to do that. There go the cops right there in a helicopter. But if I were to be able to do it, the point here is I would be doing to help people to get better at what I'm doing. Like, why fight them? God could go fight them or whatever. I don't need to. You see, that section. But I should be doing something. People should be doing something for, not because someone has wronged you in the past, but there's enough to do in the present, to help others and help yourself and with problems in the present, like just deal with the problem, try and settle it before court because God's going to send you another giant ass problem. So move quickly through them. You see, that's what I think that section is focused on there. Okay. If Mir Baba was here, he'd be ashamed of them all. That's funny. But you see what I'm saying? Not really, in a way. It's not so much shame. It's just Mir Baba, God, the Father, the compassionate Father, compassionate, remember, it's in your name. Be compassionate. Remind it yourself. Call myself the compassionate Father. Ah. Bees, quit stinging them. It's like, well, why'd you put the stinger back here? I know, but it's to teach you temperance. Don't sting them. It's like, I can't help it. Ow. Let's keep going. Okay, lust. Heard it. You have heard that it was said, "You shall not commit adultery." But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman in lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members, say your whole body, to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than your whole body go to hell. Okay, so you see the end of John Wick. I'm sorry, the beginning of John Wick 2, maybe, where he wants to get back into the hive, you know, and he has to chop off his finger to prove that he's loyal. Yeah. You- So, in other words, if you're out there messing with the human livestock and you ain't supposed to be doing that, and you want to get back in the hive after we caught your ass, uh, you know, you're gonna have to chop off your finger or pull out your eyeball or some crappy stuff like that, or we're gonna put you in hell. Just to remind you, Disney players, don't do that. In other words, you can't just go screw a human. The human has to want to screw you. You see what I'm saying? Okay. It's also said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of sexual immorality, makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. In other words, you haven't given that woman a chance to go back to the past husband. And, uh, in the second case, if she was sexually immoral, oh, okay, she was with another guy. She broke that contract with you. Fine, then she could go. That's the reason for divorce. But if there's another divorced woman out there, right, she could still get back with her husband. So don't screw that up, kind of a thing. You see what I'm saying? This is to the bees. Okay. This is to the Truman Show bit players and their rules. He's speaking to them. And if the humans at least want to get up to the Pharisees, that's what he said. Hey, if you humans read this, at least do this stuff, you know? Oaths. Again, you have heard it said that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn. In other words, remember, you said you were going to play at Disney, and then eventually you play the game and get home to God. Remember, you took that. You said 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 that. Okay? But I say to you, don't take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is either, don't take an oath, I'm sorry, at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God. In other words, it's God to swear from the throne of heaven, not you, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, that's God's too, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. You're not the great king. And do not take an oath by your own head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. In other words, whose head is it? It's God created it, your head. Don't swear on that either. Let what you say simply yes or no. Anything more than that comes from evil. In other words, comes from evil, comes from your ego. Hey, your head? Who gave you that head? That is your Disney costume. You give it back after your shift. None of that crap is yours. And bring it back in here. Why do we even have to say this every reset? They're not your uniforms. Put the body back. You see what I'm saying? You've heard it that it was said, an eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth. That was before the humans, right? Sure, we used to do it that way, but no, humans don't know what they're up to. Humans don't know anything. You know everything. If one hits you on the cheek, turn your other cheek. What's the big deal? They don't know anything. Okay, they're like children on the rides here. Quit getting upset with them. And if But I say to you, do not resist the one who is evil. But if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if anyone would sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to the one who begs from you, and do not refuse the one who would borrow from you. Basic rules down here, people. Okay, if the human asks for you for something, go ahead and give it. You have everything, you idiot. If he's going to slap you, you're a Disney player. Okay, you're not here playing the game. That's not you. You're trying to earn your feathers and wings. If they mess with you when you're down here, if they hit you, slap you, punch you, kick you, whatever, that's just you on your shift. Deal with it. You get off your shift, go home, whatever. Okay. First of all, this is interesting. But you have heard it was said, "You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy." But I say to you, love your enemies. Jesus is saying we have an enemy in here. You just said it. We have an enemy. We're in a game and we have an enemy. He just said it. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. In other words, not sons of the, creepy creature at the Black Rock, the devil, right? For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers, what more are you doing than others? Do not even Gentiles do the same? You therefore must be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. In other words, perfect survey down here. We are serving those people that don't know anything up in this place. And you better act like it. You see what I'm saying? Like I will mess with them top service at the Leela with Alan. Hey, you know what's up? Let's check on you. Check out your service. They're top service. The best. Okay, let's keep going. And seeing the oh, that's a copy of it. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so that's the whole section. And that was in original English. I'm sorry, that wasn't in the old English. I was in like a new version, new King James version. Uh, okay, so a lot in there, right? So he's mostly has assembled, right? Let's go back and see what people say. Mostly that's the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, it's like, hey, we're gonna start the game here. Like Pierre Pavel before you go. Hey, listen, this is the game, and you're gonna start. It's sort of like them. The previous resets were just for the bugs and getting them ready to be, hey, let's get you ready to play the game. Like that. This is their training. It's like go through boot camp. But this is their training. You see, this is literally their training over and over and over again for lifetimes until they get their part right. And once they do, then obviously their ego's not in it. And they have created something that only can occur when you grow a heart. And what is that? Empathy. In other words, the tiger has no empathy for the deer. The tiger loves the deer, but has no empathy for the situation of the deer. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, man, you taste good. But that's oh, I'm sorry, that must hurt your neck a little bit. That doesn't come into the tiger's thinking, you see? So there's no empathy for the deer. Love, but no empathy, you see? Uh, a tasty morsel. That's so tasty. I love it. Yep. Yeah, there's that. But there's no empathy. There's no heart. In other words, it's all didactic. It's all instinct driven. It's all driven by, stimuli, what you see, what you smell, the basics that you've overcome nothing. And so this is the bees. Hey, don't sting. You can't stop stinging. You know, uh, and so it's kind of they're in a hierarchy. The bees are, who was in charge. That means other ones have other slots and so on. Get to work, everybody out there. And the Truman Show at Disney World, come on, they're going to open the gates and they're going to come in, and you're going to be Mickey, and you're not going to be Joe, whatever your last name. I can't remember. Joe, you're not going to be Joe. You're going to be Mickey Mouse. So let's get it together. I don't. That little kid kicked me in the shin. Though it's like I don't care if he kicked in the shin. Pour his whole Coke over your head, threw ice down your. I don't. That doesn't matter. Wave and smile and get out the back door, and that's it. Okay, we got showers back there. What are you talking about, man? Come on. You see? So he's talking to the assembled crew, and also in the script is speaking to who? The script is speaking to everyone, right? But can you see that there are two sides to every script that's being spoken to? It's speaking to them, and it's saying, hey, you don't have to be in the Old Testament, but if you're going to follow them rules and be a Disney character, you're going to do it this way. And so if you're going to be playing the game, and you can read this book, the Bible, and see what's actually up with everything, you could actually use these rules, you see, not the Ten Commandments, but what I say, Jesus Christ, the spirit, the flavor, right? Like an itch, the salt of those rules, what I mean behind them, the saving, being saved, the Savior, right? This not just savor, not just a flavor, which you're nothing without any salt, with no flavor is nothing. So at least do the basics. But if you want to become and win this game, you see, then become the Savior. You get the I in there. You see, you do this, you follow the rules, and then one day, you'll meet with God, right? And then you get hated, and then you get kicked out of the game. Remember, you ready for that yet? You gonna do what you're told as a member of the hive, or do you want to play the game? You're like, oh, we ain't ready to play the game. Okay, and get out there and put on the Mickey costume. That's what the Sermon on the Mount is saying. You see what I'm saying? Look, are you gonna play the game? Play the game like this and win. You're not playing the game, you're a Disney character, then you will do it like this, or I'll toss you into the lake of fire. I'll put you in hell. That is a rough. That is time loop, right? And so last time loop, uh, you know, I threw you all in hell. Remember? Oh, guess what? Gonna do it again unless you do what I say. When you're working at Disney, you will smile. You will get, whatever happens to you on the shift. I don't want to hear it. You will be nice to the people who pay to be in the park. That's the Sermon on the Mount, you see? And if you're in the park and you're playing it and you found the Bible somehow and you picked it up and you want to win the game, guess what? You can, and this is the way it's going to go for you, right? You're going to be with God. They're going to hate your guts. And you better start reading deeper into this. And guess what? These rules exist until the end of time. And so you can use them in your situation or not. So the spirit, the Sermon on the Mount is speaking to both teams, and it's saying you better get your spiritual technology together because we're in a time loop, and if you don't win it by the end of time, you could lose too, and you go to heaven again. And okay, your top's in heaven, sucker, you lose, and you can do it again. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's saying in there. And so me, yeah. I'm not coming back. I don't care. I'm not coming back here. I don't care what I get. Yeah, the list is tough, whatever. But yeah, I ain't coming back. Like I've had enough of the park. It's like ah. Don't make me go back to Disney. I don't. I. It was okay the first time. You know what I mean? Like I was 6. It was okay, After that, a little bit, you know, It's a small world. It's a little dome. Ha ha. It's like, okay, that song gets you after a while. You know what I mean? I don't like it at Disney. Oh, so, okay, that's the Sermon on the Mount. So, try to make Jesus Christ Trust .net, Jesus Christ Trust itself, more inclusive of people. Then it becomes, oh, do you want to do a Cessna KV trust? Do you want to get a Persian? You want to, hey, we got this other way. It works for the rest of the, you know, ants in here. If you want to be anti-ant, where's it? Was it ANTI or AUNTI? Okay, you see what I'm saying? Uh, but I don't. But I think the whole point of this is you should be, you know, autonomous in the sense that you know the rules, right? You have two commandments: love God, love your brothers and sisters. You don't need a whole rest of high rules. You do those things. You don't get tossed in a lake of fire. Don't get tossed into heaven. And hey, you're up there, and those evildoers will be your service up there. It's like, well, aren't they your service here? You just didn't realize it. Wouldn't that suck to have a role reversal upon them? It's like, who was, you know, uh, duality, like switch places again, switch back, switch it, up, back. You want to do that? No. Heaven, hell, earth. You want to keep playing the game? No. So if you want to get out of it, you have to, you know, come to the top level of spiritual expertise, technology. In other words, I now have the abilities within myself and my knowledge base of what to do in this situation so I don't have to return to the body and play again. You see what I'm saying? And if you've uh, made an actual viable alternative to the account we trust as a method to operate. I think I've done that uh, pretty far on my own. Uh, there are a few items that still need to be taken care of, and that's the technology that I'm talking about moving forward into, and seeing if we could, think of doing things that way, where each individual will be working on a certain or collective of individuals would be working on a certain area of uh, spiritual technology and pushing it forward, you see? Or just organization or whatever you're good at. Hey, I'm good at marketing. Let me do this. Let me do, I'll keep up your website. I'll get out on the street and let me see what happens when I start praying for souls and when I talk to the devil, get some cameras out there and so on. If that's you. Uh, or whomever. Let me see about this free home thing and make a viable alternative to the turf war, and let's get a piece of real estate, that's a known quantity and a real viable alternative to not have to pay for it, not but no taxes and stuff. Like these are all real advances in spiritual technology that need to occur. Uh, kind of like keep the community gathered and together, and then you know, work on each piece of technology that we desperately need to have solved and completed, so that we could, it's like, I guess honestly, it's sort of like, oh my God, this is so funny. What do they call them things? Oh, it's sort of like a vaccine, isn't it? You see to say once you inject the truth into the hive, uh, oh, that's a video. I see how I can get a free hive, free home. You inject that information into the knowledge base of that individual. And if it gets to a hive member, you've infected the whole hive and they know what to look out for. But if you affect a human, you could make it happen again and again. And eventually, 100 monkey theory, right? Hey, the monkeys, the humans, the ants, the players in Disney World will figure out what's up. and we'll quit paying and the game's over. So God has to step in and be like, look, you solved the riddle. Okay, come on home. You see, that's what I see as a reason to do that and be inclusive and add members is some certain way. Alan and I talk once about having an association, sort of, and this would be like an association, right? And we associate the individual, uh, autonomous individuals. We're going to associate for reasons of, I would like to say, moving this information spiritual technology forward under the spiritual hierarchy to get back to God completely, win the game, and produce that information, and then have that viable alternative there for people in an absolute basic known quantity way. Nothing obscured anymore. Because what has it said? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You see what I'm saying? Once you know it, and it's oh, hey, that's an actual no. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You know, and you can only know something by either doing it yourself, right? That's really the only way. Or so many people have done it that it's just like obvious. Yeah, I watched my neighbor do it. I watched him do it yesterday. My sister did it. Then my dog did it. Then they did it. Then they did. I'm actually the last one to do it. Like that's another. You shall know the truth. Like if everyone did it, you're just like, okay, well everyone did it. Okay, you know. But still, you have to have the experience, and then it's actually But if it's sort of becoming, well, I know that's real because everyone's doing it, not even on the news. I watch everyone in my neighborhood is not paying for the house anymore. So that's one met two levels of knowing, isn't it? Watching literally practically everyone do it, or you do it yourself, is another level. Always, even if everyone else has like done it, you still have to know yourself. I started a free school back when my children were younger. Uh, as an alternative, it was an association of individual parents and homeschoolers just coming together. It was just associated at a free school. And there was a story. It was started under the Sudbury Valley school model, and it was a story in the Sudbury Valley stories that they have, because there are no classes in this school. You just basically the adults are there to help provide what you need to find out where your curiosity takes you. In other words, oh, I want to learn to fish. Then that's your class, and we're here to help you. We have a pond, and let's go fishing. That would be their course today. But like children's uh, curiosity would lead them, and they would choose. The children would choose the faculty. So it's a very interesting model. Okay, one of the stories from this gathered group of people is, so the young children and the old children are around each other all day. There's no, this age is with them, and no, the whole every age interacts. And so and at age 18, 19, or whatever, to graduate from this school, you have to write something or say something, write and say something to your fellow students and faculty, and say why you're ready to move on. You could also say why you want to stay an extra year. It's up to you. But say something and write it down, and so that we know what's up with you. And that's like the only required uh, assignment, actually, is say why you're leaving or say why you're staying. And that's until you're 18. So this one story is about this two girls at the school. One is on her last year, and she's about to write her last thing. And this is what she writes. She writes this story that I'm telling you about it, like this. She's like, this has been my experience here. And she writes what I'm telling you. Okay. Uh, there's a big tree in this old, it's like an old mansion they have, and this beautiful grounds and beautiful trees there. And a lot of the younger ones, at the school spent a lot of their time climbing the tree, basically during this great climbing tree. And so this one little youngin there come up to this woman who's, now going to write her graduation thing. I'm like, I moved on. I'm ready to go. And this younger girl says, "Oh, you got to come to the climate tree. Watch me climb the tree." She's like, "Okay, I'll come to the climate tree." And, you know, she says to the 18-year-old, the younger one, hey, have you climbed a tree? And she's like, no, I haven't climbed a tree. And the younger was like, well, put your foot here. And she's like, no, I don't want, I just haven't climbed it. I haven't wanted to climb a tree. It's great you want to climb a tree. And the little was like, put your foot here and put your hand over here and start climbing. And she's like, I'm not climbing the tree. You asked me to come out here and watch you to climb. She's like, put your foot there and climb the freaking tree. Like the little way eventually motivates her to climb the tree. And for her, that was kind of what makes this school different, like it's just people of any age could teach one age, and there's a certain beauty in humans at every age, and it's not that you're above someone at a younger age, or you're not above someone in a spiritual hierarchy, and you're not beneath someone in a spiritual hierarchy. You're in a different position playing the game. You have different knowledge, different experiences, so on. But everyone is going to fully advance spiritually. Everyone is. There is no other point to life, and consciousness is never lost. So if you're in the game and you're playing it forward, you're going to end up at the end of the game. So everyone is playing this game, even your quote enemies in the game. And that's what Jesus is saying. Do you even realize that your enemies in the game, man, that's how you're winning the game. You have a opposition and it's a game. So thanks for the younger ones who even teach us our little lessons on the way out the door when we thought we knew everything. You see? When the clock finishes ticking and we're done, that's when we're done. If we're breathing air, it's because God decides, hey, you're breathing air today. I'm alive because God decides, and that's no other reason. No other reason. I can he's like, remember the passage? You can't turn one hair on your head white or black. So whose head is it? You see? Don't get your ego involved in this. Be very careful with playing the game. And if you want to be a part of, I'm trying to be inclusive to do this, but realize this is under a spiritual hierarchy. The goal is to expose, like I have over time, and I will continue to, uh, the real truth. And the real truth is necessary to find out is how you beat them, period. Because what else do we need to know up here? The rest is just we know it. We're adults. We're smart enough to know the basics. It's like the problem is we don't know the things that aren't the basics. The advanced information that's hidden, that's what we don't know. That's what we need to know. The only way to know it is to gather proof and then be like, oh, okay, because we trust on another. So if someone else gathers proof and returns it as an individual to the hive, we have to examine it. Something's not like instant like the other team. So, but then we could go, oh, let's all go over there and see what's up. Uh, that would be the goal of, the idea of forming basically what? A board, right? You're bored. How bored are you of the dome? Are you bored enough to create a board of trustees? You see what I'm saying? In other words, individual trustees from other trusts who are bored gathering to end the boredom, right? Boredom, right? We're going to bore through that freaking dome and get our asses out of here. Well, maybe not our asses, but our souls are leaving, right? Boredom, right? We're going to bore through it. The boring company. We're going to bore out of here, right? We're boredom. Boredom. Who wants to be on the boredom committee? Okay, so you see what I'm saying? All right. So think that over how the best, that's so easy thing, but really it's just like gathering and moving a certain area of technology, spiritual technology forward. You see, and then how can we gather and you know share time together and our experiences and so on, that and with God, like we did in India, but then maybe closer next time. That's so far away. Uh, okay, so be thinking about that, everyone. Uh, Thank you for the donations. If they come this week, it would be great. Uh, Everyone, thank you for coming. Um, you know, I know the truth is I sweep away all the dust and everything in a litter. Uh, and it's like, no, it's just this clear dome thing. And that's, we need to get out of this thing and get out and not come back in and seal the hole behind us, right? Want to make a loophole. And then when you're on the other side, close it. uh, all right. Closer. I'm a good closer. All right. A good opener and a good closer. Okay, everyone. Man, this stove wears you out, don't it? Like, especially this summer, this heat is like, I got everybody out of death and taxes. What else I gotta do up in here? Seriously, I had the whole. I can't remember the list of this stuff. I did debt, whatever. Like, what else I gotta do up here? It's like more stuff. It's like, oh, more stuff. You know what? Maybe we get some other people to do some of that more stuff. Oh, you could try that. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, think about how might that happen. Any input is appreciated, and so next time we gather, let's like have a let's get an inch into that topic. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, Alan, that's where I am. Get me out of the dome, like boredom, the boring. Let's get at it. Oh no 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 no. Close the sand. Sure, Jamie. Yes, the truth is interesting, but what you're having, you have to then determine what actions are you going to take to that are the most useful for you as an individual, and they also align. If you have the full knowledge, you'll then determine, oh, you know what, getting at the dome would be cool. And in the meantime, how about you get your hands off of me and my loved ones? How about stop? How about no? How about go over there? It's a turf war, and then it's mostly deeply, of course, it's a spiritual internal difficult battle that we're fighting. It has an external quality to that internal battle that we need to solve that riddle fully. And really, it's just ultimately comes down to the turf war. If you can keep them off your land and so on, then then I'm messing with you. So who cares about that? You can sit and have a real conversation with real people instead of them, and decide what you might do that's most fruitful that day and ongoing and so on, and have that in an ongoing, meaningful way over time. You see, hey, guess what? This happened and this worked. Like what Mike's doing. Guess what? This works and this, and so on. And gathering video and setting up circumstances where we can all know exactly why this is occurring, and how to beat them and what the principles are behind it, and just cut it and slice it and dice it, make it into, just absolute quantified information that anyone can use against them. That's it. Okay. All right. Man, every time I go live, right? Like, no one has ever gone into this information that I go into. And each time I'm trying to go at a rate of speed where we can get this done. You see what I'm saying? And also not lose you, you know, not go too fast, too far where I'm just standing out there on an island as a lighthouse again. It's no good. Should we still pray at the Freemason Hall of Video? Mary did done that. Mary Green figured out that alone won't make it cross the line. So that's what I'm saying. We should really start to gather and discuss What Dee, hey, what should we do first? I love it, Dee. What should we do first? What should we do this? What actions should we do first? Who's going to do? Why? Where do we gather the information? How? And what do we do? You see what I'm saying? Yes, she did do a good job, so we don't have to do that. And so, what's next? Exactly, Dee Dee. Always on it. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Enough of the mishmash, this, that. I hope I've solved and uncovered every little facet of every little, every facet of this diamond dome. Okay. Now we need to end this sucker. You see what I'm saying? Patiently, over time, with no risk to any individual. Patiently, over time. We already get enough hassle up in here. Let's just gather the information and chop this redwood down. I want to hear the thunder when that thing hits the ground. You follow me? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I want to hear that thing fall hard. Okay. So consider all that. Did you already process it and come up with the exact right response? So hey, yeah, I know you get it. So I know you and I get it. And I know some others in here get it. I know those individuals can do certain things over time as crack this nut and solve this riddle, and so that we have it on video, and no one's at risk. The information is simply known. And that's it. Okay. So, what's the best way to gather to do that? Is it a written affiliation, an oral? Like, you see what I'm saying, and how to do that. So, it works for everyone. So, we have each other's back, and all that stuff. You see? You're yelling to it. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Don't you want to yell timber? Don't. I want to belt that one out myself. I would have felt that one out, right? From our Canadian brothers, Timber sister, our Canadian sister in this case, Timber. Did I hear something from Canada? Well, yeah, a big one came down. BlackRock. You get me? Okay, so very incredibly intelligent people are here, pure hearts, so careful actions. Okay, this is. I got this far on my own, and I'm like, hey, hey, everybody. So let's get a few more over the thing, and we can divide up little things that have to be done, and we can decide what those little things are and who wants to do them. Decide on your own. Oh, I want to do this, that, or the other thing. And that's what we'll do. We'll just, split up into little teams, little committees, and go off there. And, hey, the bees, when the bees don't sting you if you do this, right? We'll turn into little beekeepers. You see? Keep it in the hives. No, seriously. They don't like smoke. So what's smoke to them? Do you follow? Like, that's what we got to do. You see? I do still have a JCT form. It's still over there. Yeah. Still there. Yes. So the tools, the website, the forum, and so on. And then those are tools that we have. Need to keep it running. And, what do we need to solve? And those discussions. So we'll start that talk next Sunday. Make a little bullet pointed list, what you think is good to talk about. Each one of you a short little, top three, even 3 bullet points. Say, let's talk about these things. You all know what's up. So we'll have that talk. We'll decide what to do. Okay? You're locked out, TD. Blah, blah, blah. Tammy can put you back in. Contact at liberty8academy.org, and Tammy will put you back in. Locked out. Some other people are locked out too, so that might not be the best thing. It might not work, actually. because other people have had problems in there too, and for no reason. Uh, so that might not work. Maybe WhatsApp will work, or maybe I'll hear, or maybe email, or you know, you already come up with 2 bullet points. Look at you. We're doing it live now. So that's what I'm saying. Over the week, make a list like that. And let's, some of these things, if you bring up the problem, are going to be yours to solve, right? Other people are like, hey, I think I know how to solve that. And so you'll come up with a problem. Hey, who wants to help solve this problem? You see? And we'll kind of list, these are the problems. What do you want to work on next? And we'll pick one. You know? Tech issue. That's what I'm saying. I always have, that's all it is tech issues. Okay. But if we make a list and go step by step and decide who's going to do what, it's going to get solved very quickly. I think these things are not unknowable. In fact, I have a lot of information, almost all of it, on every single thing we need to figure out. And so it's just putting the final nail in the coffin. All right. Okay. Until next week. Good to have you all here. God bless you. Watch over you, your whole family, everyone. And God, come on, watch over everyone here. We're working for you, okay? We're your top servants. Make it easy for us, eh? Come on. Jesus Christ, Bear Baba, Holy Spirit, Angel Gabriel, everyone working for God, watch over us and help. I'll see you next Sunday at noon. Thanks for the support and donation, the alms for the poor.